What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Meal Prep. Today, what are we making? Some honey sriracha meatballs. Doesn't that sound good? Sriracha meatballs with some spaghetti. And for spaghetti, we're going to use some zucchini spiral noodles, and then we'll top it off with some baked potato sweet potato fries. Baked potato sweet potato fries. All right, let's do this. So let's go ahead and get started on the thing that's going to take the longest, the sweet potato fries. I'm going to go ahead and peel them and then chop them up. You can do them in the french fry capacity, but I'm going to do like little cubes. Just easier. Time is of the essence. All right, let's get started. So I peeled all the potatoes. Now it's time to go ahead and cut them up. Let's go ahead and do that. Again, I'm going to keep it very simple. Just cut them up in cubes. Just like that big. All right, we've cut all the potatoes up. Let's go ahead and mix them and add the seasonings. We'll use 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Let's go ahead and get started with our seasonings. I have 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, a half a teaspoon of paprika, a half a teaspoon of black pepper, a half a teaspoon of garlic, and lastly, 1/2 teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt. As always, I've already gone ahead and pre-measured mine out. Let's go ahead and pour it all over. If you could smell this now, it's heaven. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this on a baking sheet, put it in the oven for 425 degrees for about 35 minutes. I have my baking sheet here. I'm going to go spray it with some olive oil just to make sure nothing sticks. And go ahead and add the potatoes to it. It's enough room they don't have to share. Get on your side. No. So like I said, this is going to go in the oven for 425 degrees for 35 minutes. All right, let's go ahead and get started on the honey sriracha meatballs. Okay, we're going to be using 93% lean ground turkey. We have 2 cups of chopped spinach. We have 2 eggs I'm going to whisk. We have 3 cloves of minced garlic, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. You know how I love to say that. I have a half a cup of diced onion. I'm going to use 1/4 cup of cilantro, a half a teaspoon of black pepper, a half a teaspoon of salt, and 1 tablespoon of olive oil. All right, let's get started. Let's go ahead and add the turkey to it. This from Sam's. It was like, this whole thing was like $3. So buying in bulk is, is the way to go, guys. All right, so we're going to use about 2 cups. All right, let's go ahead and add that to the turkey. Right on in there. Let's go ahead and chop up our cilantro. We'll use about 1/4 cup. Now with cilantro, you gotta just pull it right off the stem. All right, now let's go ahead and get a nice good chop on this as well. Just like the spinach, you want to mince it really well. All right, add that to the bottom. My meatballs are just not meatballs. They're going to be packed with some vitamins and nutrients and extra minerals that you normally wouldn't see. So I put some spinach in there. Why? It's high in vitamin A, C, E, K, potassium, and it's a really good source of protein. It's a lot of other things as well that it's pretty good in. And then I have cilantro. It has some great antioxidant properties. So my meatballs are a little bit more than just meatballs. All right, let's go ahead and finish adding the rest of the ingredients. Start with the onion. I'm going to use red onion. And we'll use about 1/4 cup. Let's go ahead and add the onion. The onions is really kicking my behind. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, that's enough. Hold on. Let's go ahead and add the 2 eggs. We have a ½ teaspoon of black pepper and a ½ teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt. Go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. I'm going to add a ½ teaspoon of this garlic sriracha seasoning just to really enforce that sriracha flavor throughout the meatballs. Let's get in there and mix that up. I almost forgot, we need some breadcrumbs. I'm going to use some whole wheat panko breadcrumbs, about 1/3 cup. Let me go ahead and get that. All right, so I've got my breadcrumbs. Let's go ahead and add them. Now we can finish mixing. All right, well, it's time to go ahead and get to rolling. Let's make a little meatballs here. Let's weigh that out. So we'll roughly do about 1 ounce meatballs. That way we can have a couple. All the meatballs are done. I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands, and let's go ahead and sear them for about 1 minute on each side on medium-high heat. Then I'll go ahead and put them in the oven. All right, be right back. Got to clean up. All right, I have my pans preheated on medium-high heat. I'm going to go ahead and spray them with the olive oil spray and then sear them 1 minute on each side, just so I can get some nice, good caramelization on it, and then stick it in the oven. Alright, so I finished searing off all the meatballs. Time to go ahead and put them in the oven. I have the oven already set to 375 degrees, and we'll do about 20 to 25 minutes. Alright, so the turkey meatballs are in the oven cooking. We got about 20 minutes on those. I already took out the sweet potato fries or cubes or whatever you want to call them. They came out looking pretty delicious. Let's go ahead and get started on the zucchini noodles. I have my spiralizer here, as seen on TV. So let's go ahead and cut the sides off. Alright, let's go ahead and finish the zucchini noodles. I have 3 cloves of garlic. I want to chop up this small onion. This is going to be about a ½ cup of onion. So we'll go ahead and dice that up. Let's go over to the stove and put the rest of this together. Alright, I have a pan here preheating. I'm going to go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of olive oil to the pan, or grapeseed oil. Take my 3 cloves of garlic and mince it. Just want that to fragrant the oil. Cook it for about 20 seconds. Let's go ahead and add the onion. Alright, let's go ahead and add the zucchini noodles. 1 teaspoon of ground black pepper. A ½ teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt. Just a ½ teaspoon. A ½ teaspoon of sesame oil. And 1 tablespoon of low sodium soy sauce. Now you can use honey or agave. I'm going to use a little bit of honey. About 1 tablespoon, just to reinforce the flavor. Not a lot. Go ahead and mix that up. And let that cook for about 3 to 4 minutes, just until the zucchini is a little soft. Alright, let's go ahead and get started on the sauce for the honey sriracha meatballs. It's going to be great. Let's grab a saucepan and come back over to the table. Alright guys, all we have left to do is the honey sriracha sauce. So let's go ahead and put that together. I have my saucepan here. I have my sriracha. Let's get started. So we're going to use 1/3 cup of sriracha. So we have 1/4 cup of water, 3 tablespoons of low sodium soy sauce, 3 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar, there's 3 tablespoons of honey. Like I said before, you could use agave. They're about the same thing as far as macros go. Both about 60 calories, about 16 grams of sugar per tablespoon. All right. All right, let's use about 1 tablespoon of grated ginger. So I have some fresh ginger here. I'm gonna break it off. And I found the best way to peel ginger is just to use a spoon. Okay, in the pan that goes. All right, I'm gonna use about 3 to 4 cloves of garlic, depending on size. A half a teaspoon of black pepper. And I'll add about 1/4 cup of diced red onion as well. Lastly, I'll add about 1 tablespoon of some fresh lime juice, okay? All right, let's go ahead and stir this. Just put this on the stove, bring it to a medium-high simmer, and then cook it for about 3 to 4 minutes until it starts to reduce. I also added a half a teaspoon of sesame oil. Other than that, we're all good to go. See you in 4 minutes. Let's go ahead and put everything together. So we have our zucchini noodles right here, or our zucchini spaghetti. It's roughly 5 ounces or 140 grams of zucchini. Alright, so we have our zucchini noodles in there. Let's go ahead and add our meatballs. Aren't they looking delicious? Look at them. I topped it with some green onions and sesame seeds. So I already pre-measured these out, so they're roughly about 1 ounce each, so everybody gets 4 meatballs. Okay guys, we're pretty much wrapped up here. Now my son doesn't really like the zucchini noodles, so I went ahead and made him some white rice and added some string beans to his dish. And all we have to do now is add the sweet potatoes. So let's go ahead and do that. Everybody should get about 1/2 cup. All right guys, we are all done. There's nothing left for me to do but put the tops on them and put it in the refrigerator. These meals came out great. Look at them. We have some honey sriracha meatballs with our zucchini noodles and some baked sweet potatoes. I did a little bit different over here. I added some white rice and string beans, topped it with some sesame seeds and green onions. That looks good. Now these honey sriracha meatballs are pretty spicy. I used about 1/3 cup, so if you don't want yours as spicy as mine, you can use a little bit less sriracha, maybe about 1/4 cup, or even a little bit less. That's totally up to you, depending on your temperament for heat or spice. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and smash that button. If you want to share this video out with someone who's maybe doesn't know what to meal prep, wants to get started with meal prepping, wants to do something different, go ahead and do it. Push out to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Tell the world I won't mind. Matter of fact, I think I might appreciate it. You know what I say. Stay focused, stay positive, and keep it moving. Good day, everybody.